The last portion of section 3.5 symbolic arguments, we're going to go back to those standard form of arguments, and we're going to take something that fits one of these four special cases, and we're going to draw the conclusion that follows. I still think it's helpful to write it in symbols, and so we're going to do that first to realize which law it's using. Law of detachment, law of contrapositive, law of syllogism, disjunctive syllogism, to draw the conclusions of what we have. So the first four I'm going to do with you, and then the last four I'm going to ask you to do them and check them with me after you're finished. In this case, I'm not going to write out my simple statements of P and Q. Definitely still a good idea, but I'm just going to kind of write out so that I can see the format. It says, if it's windy, my hat will fly off. So the if then. So if it's windy, then my hat will fly off. My hat did not fly off. Therefore, what can I conclude? So this is my law of, if you look back, of contrapositive, because it's the opposite negation. So I can say that it's not windy. So that is my conclusion. Some of you can do it without these symbols, but again, on a test, it's really easy to conclude incorrectly. So I strongly suggest you don't have to write P's and Q's. Notice what I just did there is I stayed with what was in the problem. This is my answer. Going to number 2. If the Yankees win the pennant, they beat the Marlins. The Yankees won the pennant. This is a law of detachment. I'm saying if Y happens, then M. Well, we say now Y happens, then we conclude that M happens. And so we can conclude that they can beat the Marlins, but we need to take out that pronoun and put the Yankees can beat the Marlins. Reading number 3. On my 30th birthday, I will throw a big party. So on my 30th birthday, again, you can use whatever symbols as long as you understand what you're using for your symbols. I will throw a big party. I will not throw a big party. I should be able to conclude that it's not my 30th birthday. This is a law of contrapositive again. So the last one I'm going to do with you, and then I'm going to have you do the next 4 by yourself. This one's a little bit trickier. I call this the trickiest one of all of them. All the stores are closed. So, stores are closed. Or, it is not a holiday. Remember, you have to have that negation for the not. Then we say, it is a holiday. Remember what an or means. An or means at least one of them has to happen. So, this is saying that this doesn't happen. So I can conclude that the stores are closed. I can only do this if I can cross one of them out, because an or means one or both happen. This is what's called our disjunctive syllogism. So I want you to go ahead and do, for me, 1 through 4. Pause it, go ahead and do it, and then come back on after you finish them. Please try to do them by yourself first. So looking at number 1, if I finish my work, I will go biking. I finish my work. This is a law of detachment, and it's straightforward because it's an if-then, and they both work. Number 2, if your team wins, they will go to New York. The team didn't go to New York. This is a law of contrapositive because we're negating and going in the opposite order. So my conclusion here, the team didn't win. Number 3, if the whistle is blown, the dog will come. The dog didn't come. So this is again a contrapositive. We're negating and going in the opposite order, and that is the one that's equivalent to each other from the original piece. So the whistle did not blow. And number 4, if the cat is hungry, she will meow. If the cat meows, the dog comes running. As long as the middle matches, you can basically cross it out. It's kind of like transitive property. This is our syllogism. I call it transitive. And so if the cat is hungry, then the dog comes running. But the middle has to match.